Graveyards like the one that we're at right now are very sacred spots for us. This is the place, or places like this, where we put to rest people that we've loved, our relatives, our friends, people that have influenced us, or we've influenced them. So they're very sacred places, but can you imagine with me for a moment? You've just laid someone to rest recently, and within a few days later you come back and suddenly the stone that was above their grave is now toppled over, and the ground that was now covering up their burial place is now dug up, and their coffin is gone and they are gone. And how strange would that be? Can you imagine how you would feel for just a moment if you showed up and things are not the way that you left them last? That'd be pretty disturbing for us, because we expect things to be the way that they are, and we begin to analyze and think, well, what happened here? Did grave robbers come? And you see no evidence of that, and you talk to people and there's no evidence that anyone has intruded on the land, but there's something obviously that's gone wrong. And so you begin to have this really strange, morbid and yet elating thought. Has a miracle happened here? Has something happened to my friend, my relative, that has allowed them to actually overcome death? Maybe they broke through and they're alive. It might be believable, but only if we saw them. Only if we saw them face to face, and then we would go, okay, now I believe. Other than that, it'd be pretty strange. A scenario like I've just described actually took place about 2,000 years ago in the 1st century. It took place in the setting where the followers of Jesus Christ were gathered around, and they had just witnessed one of the most grueling moments in history, where the Son of God, Jesus Christ, was actually crucified brutally by the Roman government. And 3 days later, then on Sunday morning, what we now call Easter morning, maybe a day a lot like today, the followers of Jesus Christ came face to face with a reality that really shook them up. It probably felt a lot like what you and I would have felt if we showed up at someone's grave that we had just buried and they're gone. In fact, I want us to read for a moment a few verses from the historical document from the Gospel of John that describes a little bit about what happened on Easter morning. In John chapter 20, the story goes like this. Now, on the first day of the week, Mary Magdalene, she came early to the tomb while it was still dark, and saw the stone already taken away from the tomb. It was already taken away. She rolled up to the tomb, and just like it might have felt for you and I if we were there at that cemetery or that graveyard and that stone had been toppled, that feeling that we might have felt, that's what Mary felt when she found and discovered that the tomb where Jesus was laid, the stone had already been taken away. So she ran, and she came to Simon Peter and to the other disciple, probably John, whom Jesus loved. And she said to them, "They have taken away the Lord out of the tomb." So surprised. I mean, you can feel it. She was flabbergasted that someone had come and toppled the grave, had taken the body of Jesus away. So she thought. And she said, "We do not know where they have laid him." And so then Peter and the other disciple, they went forth, and they were going to the tomb. And verse 4 says they were running together. They were so taken back by this news that the body of Jesus, the stone, had been rolled away. The grave had been disturbed a little bit, and so they're running together. And the other disciple actually ran ahead faster than Peter, and he came to the tomb first, and they began to examine the tomb to see what had happened there. So when I read this account, there's a question that comes to my mind, and the question is, why are these disciples and Mary, why are they reacting this way to this news about Jesus? I mean, I know that you and I would react a little bit dramatically if we'd come to the grave and it had been toppled and it's gone, but you know, I think there's something more to this story. I think there's something interesting about the way that these disciples and Mary are reacting to the absence of Jesus from the tomb. See, the scriptures and the historical document from the Gospel of John tells us that Mary Magdalene came early to the tomb, before it was even light. The sun had not even come up yet, and here's Mary coming on Sunday morning to the tomb of Jesus. Why? Why is she doing that? Why is she coming to the grave when she knows that Jesus had been killed? It's Friday. He's been crucified. Now here we are the third day. I'm asking, what is Mary looking for? What are the disciples looking for? Why are they reacting this way to the message that Mary sends to them? The message that Jesus is no longer there. And I think I know the answer to the question. The answer to the question has to do with one word, and the word is hope. The word is hope. See, these disciples, on Friday, their lives have absolutely been devastated. Their Savior, Jesus Christ, has been crucified on the cross. They've been following this man Jesus for 3 years, and he's been telling them, I am the Savior of the world. I'm going to make all things right to the way they're supposed to be. And now all of a sudden, he's crucified, and their dreams of what's right are in shambles. And so Mary comes to the grave with great anticipation. Why? She's looking for the restoration of hope. You know, that's what Easter Sunday is all about. It's about one word, hope. And I want you to know I am so glad that you showed up today on Easter Sunday, because today, this day is not about Easter bunnies. It's not about little peeps that we pick up at the grocery store. It's not about the Easter egg hunt. What this day is about the restoration of hope. The Savior of the world was killed, crucified on Friday. If he stays there, we all have problems. There's no hope. It's all gone away. But Sunday has arrived, and Mary comes and discovers the greatest hope, the greatest truth, that the Savior is risen from the grave. And so the scriptures, the historical document tells us that Mary Magdalene came and announced to the disciples one key phrase, I have seen the Lord. The resurrection of Christ changes everything. And I hope for you today and for me today as we celebrate Easter, it changes the way we view our lives and the hope we have for our future.